All right, we're gonna get rolling here. So a little bit of everything today as far as props: a strap, 2 blocks, a blanket if you want to use it for shavasana or under your knees, a bolster, just because they're great, and a wall. So I failed to tell you guys online. We're not going to use the wall the whole time, but towards the end, we're going to need the wall. All right. So, welcome. I have an Irish person next to me. You're Irish too? Who else has some Irish blood?
Everybody's.
So I'll be honest, yesterday, I woke up and I was thinking about the fact that I'm turning 50 next week. I thought about the fact that my original yoga teacher that I ever had, I remember a number of years ago when she was turning 50, her goal was to finally do a handstand without the use of the wall. And so she worked on it and she achieved that for her 50th birthday. I have no plans on trying to achieve that because I personally love the wall. And I think it's quite honestly dangerous to have a bunch of people in a classroom freestyling handstands. If you don't know their bodies or whether or not they have the strength and flexibility or, the know-how on how to do it. So don't worry, we're not going to be springing up in some handstands. Although we are going to do it the most gentle way, which is using the wall. With that being said, I was also thinking about the fact that yesterday was St. Patrick's Day. And obviously I've got some Irish blood or I wouldn't have the coloring that I have. But I'm really an American mutt. I got a little bit of German, I've got some Dutch, some English, some Scots, some Irish. I've even got Chickasaw and Cherokee in my blood. So you're probably all very similar to myself if your families have been here for a while. But I started thinking about, what's the history of St. Patrick's Day? I don't really know. And St. Patrick wasn't even Irish. You could probably say more. He was Roman. And he actually landed in Ireland at 16 years old as a slave. And he was able to escape slavery. In fact, he escaped the country. And he knew when he left, he wanted to return to Ireland because he had fallen in love with that land. So he ended up going back. He had become a priest and he would use the shamrock as a way to describe the Trinity with the 3 leaves. So the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And nowadays it's symbolic of hope, life, love. And then the 4th leaf, if it's there, is luck, which is why they always say 4-leaf clover is good luck. But anyway, he has said there's this lore that he drove out the snakes from Ireland, even though historians and biologists say they never existed there anyway. But he was deemed a saint. And the color was actually blue that they celebrated for St. Patrick's Day way back when. And it wasn't until the late 1600s that there was a lot of nationalism happening in Ireland and they wanted to bring out the green. And so it actually switched to green around that time frame. When I think of St. Patrick's Day, I usually, because I've been a single mom for a long time, what I would do with my son, I would always take us to a park where I would take us out on a hike. We would find a patch of clovers to try to find the 4-leaf clover. And we would go get a green juice or a green smoothie. That's basically how we celebrated. I know it's pretty lame, but that's all we did. I really wanted to get outside yesterday, and yesterday was absolutely gorgeous. I was able to walk around the neighborhood and sit on the deck, but I wasn't able to get into the woods. But when I think green, I think nature. And I think trees. I am fascinated with trees. I absolutely love trees. And so that is more or less our theme for today, is honoring trees. So we're going to start off today's practice in a restorative position. And you can have your bolster or your block. But we're going to line it with the right leg straight. The left knee's going to bend, and then you're going to turn open from the hip. And you may or may not even need support. Maybe you want to hang out in the joints. If it's not creating or bubbling a lot of sensation. And then I'd like you to rest your hands somewhere on your body, whether it's closer to your hip points or whether it's on your abdomen or even over your chest. Or a combination. And as you're here in reclined tree pose, I want you to close your eyes and begin your breath work. Engaging with your breath and magnifying your breath. So you're developing control over it. And you actually feel movement wherever your hands are placed. And as you're centering and breathing here, I want you to imagine in your mind's eye your favorite tree. It could be a tree that you used to climb in childhood. It may be a tree in your backyard that's budding or already in bloom. Maybe it's a patch of woods or a certain forest that you like to take the trails with. Whenever you get that pictured in your mind's eye, I want you to realize that trees are considered to be sacred. They are seen as a symbol of life. They give us the oxygen that we breathe in, and we give them the carbon dioxide that we breathe out. Trees are symbolic of strength and stability, individuality, liberation and life, growth and the interconnectedness of all things, even wisdom. In some cultures, they're associated with afterlife, ancestral roots, or divinity. When you're picturing the tree or trees in your mind's eye, think about their roots representing the past, the trunk representing the present, and the branches, the possibilities that lie in the future. Now on your next in-breath, let's go ahead and lift that left knee and slide that leg out. And then as you exhale, bend your other leg, open from your hip. And if you need support on this side, please carry it over. Without the support, it's a little bit more yin. And since we maneuvered our body and took the shape in another direction, let's start that mindful breath work again. Picture the tree or patch of trees in your mind's eye. The spiritual community often says that birds represent messengers between the heavens and the earth. Trees are often considered the bridge between heaven and earth. In Buddhism, Buddha sat under the Bodhi tree. He sat and became enlightened with profound wisdom, like he was blessed by the truth. In Christianity, we talk about the tree of life. Even Kabbalah in Judaism talks about the tree of life. There's even stories of Zacchaeus climbing up the sycamore tree. And it even represents sacrifice due to the cross. In Celtic traditions, it's the symbol of wisdom and strength. In Hinduism, they look at trees as being divine. The papal tree being the tree of God. And Native Americans have such deep respect for the trees because of their protection and because they can aid in healing. So today, we're going to honor the trees. Affirm mentally within, I am calm, I am poised, I am calm and poised. All right, hopefully your strap is close by because we're now going to uplift the right knee. We're going to unroll the strap. And we're going to place that strap around the sole of the right foot, and we're going to send it skyward. You're holding the strap as close to the foot as you can reach, even though your shoulder blades are hanging down and resting on the floor. Shoot out through your left leg, push out through your left heel, drive down through your left thigh. Find your edge of flexibility with your hamstrings. Breathe in a conscious way. And consider how the legs and the feet represent our roots, our past, our ancestral ties. And celebrate for a moment the things that you have overcome from your past. Let's bring the ends of the strap into the right hand. Let's use the left hand to hold down the left hip, and we're slowly going to sail that leg off to the right side. The foot's going to hover. Take it to the point where you feel the stretch through the inseam of the right leg. This is Pada Gustasana B. And then inhale, bring the leg back up. Now slide your right hand as close to the foot as you can reach, holding both ends of the strap. Scoop in through your belly, lift your head, neck, shoulders off the floor. Shoot your left arm forward towards the center of the room. Maybe now hover your left foot and point the toes there. Nice. Breathe. And then drop your left foot, drop your left hand, slowly descend the back of your head. And remove the strap from the foot. All right, we're going to take that to the other side. So the left knee comes towards you. The strap wraps around the foot. Extend it up. Extend your right leg down the length of your mat. Reach your hands up high. But keep your shoulders planted. .
Noticing if you have more or less give in your hamstrings. Now on the second side. Always observing, discovering what your body's holding, honoring its limitations so that you're not pushing or forcing anything to happen. And then take both ends into your left hand and begin to drop the left leg to the left side. Padagustasana. Opening up those adductor muscles that adduct and abduct the leg across your center or away from your center. Try to keep the pelvis stable, steady, sturdy, even. So in other words, we're not rolling towards the left hip. And inhale, bring it right back up. All right, make sure your left hand is high towards your foot as possible, holding both ends of the strap, and then pull up. Lengthen your right arm, let it hover, and then float your right foot and point your toes. Exhale, release your right foot, your right hand, the back of your head, bend your knee, remove the strap, and we should be done with the strap. Now take Ananda Balasana, your blissful baby, where your knees are nice and wide, and you're trying to anchor down through the sacrum, and you're holding your shins or feet. Now, even though we started opening the hips immediately in that reclined tree, even though we were also opening the hips in that Padagustasana B, notice this is a completely different feel and hip stretch. Swivel your right hand over towards the pinky toe side of the foot if it's not there already. Extend your left leg out and hover the foot like you did earlier. Extend your left arm and hover the hand over your thighs you did earlier, and then lift your head like you did earlier. So now we're in lightning bolt pose. Good. It's like the shape of a lightning bolt. That's the name. I believe it was Indra was the Hindu god, similar to Zeus. All right, gently bring the left foot back into your left hand. Happy baby pose. All right, second side. The right leg's going to shoot out. Your right arm's going to lengthen and hover, and then pull in through your abdominals so that you're lifting your head off the floor and seeing the shape that your body's creating. One more breath. And then gently release down. Taking a hold of that foot for our final happy baby pose. And then draw the legs together, crisscross your ankles, kick your feet up, and rock and roll forward. You got it. All right, now we're going to come to stand. So you can come to stand however way is good. We'll stand at the top portion of the mat and really spread out your toes and really plant your feet down. So I will be honest with you, no one really explains the importance of the feet as much as Iyengar yoga. Iyengar yoga is what introduced me to really engaging the feet properly. So it does require that awareness. How do I really push my feet down into the floor? How do I lodge them down so that my legs get really rock solid and firm? So the more you work your feet, the more the muscles are gonna work through your legs and into your bodies. All right, so we're gonna do handstand the easiest way by not flipping upside down. And it's like this. So continue to root your feet, root your feet, root your feet, and lift your arms up, 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 up. Now, automatically, we tend to start doing this, woo, right? We start to get ribby. So guys, I know you're not gonna understand this, but women, I know you will. Feel as though you're suctioning everything in, like you're being, put in a corset. You know, and if you haven't experienced it, I know you've seen the movies where they're tying a woman up and she's like, she can't hardly breathe, right? That's what we're doing. That's what we're engaging here in our core, and we're cinching in our ribs. Now flex your hands and try to stretch through your arms, stretch up and away. And now, without getting back bendy, only tilt your head back and look in between your hands. All right, anybody else have arms shaking yet? All right, exhale, release. That's the form when you're upside down. Okay, if you're ribby, you're gonna lose your balance. It's all gotta be shrink wrapped in, okay? Now, let's go with that for a minute. Bring the arms straight up again, bird Bahasana. Good, exhale, I don't mind if you get ribby here. We're gonna fold forward and down to our Uttanasana. Inhale, slide your hands up your legs. Shoot your crown forward into your room. Slide your shoulders back away from your ears. And then exhale, tumble back down again. Good, keep this going. Inhale, arms shoot forward into the midsection of the room and back up overhead. All right, cinch in with your belly, with your low ribs. Flex your hands, push the hands up and away. Good, tilt your head back only. Try not to overtuck the tailbone either. And then exhale, let it go. Fold forward, hinging from the hips, Uttanasana. Inhale, slide your hands up your legs. Tilt forward towards your toes a little bit. Good, and then exhale, release. Inhale, arms reaching forward and up. All right. Suction everything in, flex your wrists, gaze up. The true technical name for a handstand is Adho Mukha Vrikshasana, downward facing tree. Exhale, palms together and lower. In and halfway lift. Exhale, burrow back down. All right, find your blocks, bring them beside your feet. And inhale, step your left foot way back. And lunge that right knee. Stack it over the ankle. Good, and lower the back knee to the ground and untuck that back foot. Take your time, okay. Is that it? It's your left knee? Okay. Just so I know which one it is. And then go ahead and walk the blocks back. Flex your right ankle. Walk the blocks back, come back to the sole of the foot and drop into your hips. So we're just gonna maneuver back and forth this way between the two poses. Half splits and your half lunge. Good, now when you take it to half split this go round, now see, maybe this is where you need to stay. Your hamstrings are gonna show you the way. If you're a little bit more open and you wanna walk the blocks out, you might be able to scale down a little bit more. But please don't go with the power of suggestion, go with what you're experiencing in your body. Jut the right toes up, 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 up. Good, now return to the sole of the foot, and we're gonna amp this up a little bit. Curl the back toes, lift the back knee. Good, straighten the front leg. And now lift the right toes, just like you did earlier in the half split. Good, exhale, spill down to the foot, lunge the knee. Good, inhale, straighten the leg, and rest on your heel, lifting the toes and the ball of the foot off the floor. Good, exhale, come back into the lunge. And now rock the hips back, lift the right toe skyward. Good, now lower the right foot again, lunge the knee, offset your left foot, plant it down. Cover your hands. And come to stand. Check with your balance. Trees represents stability. So we're channeling the tree today. Find your stability. Square your hips. All right, bring the arms up in front of you. Curl the fingers in. We're going to archer's pose. Pull the left shoulder back, just not the hip. Place the thumb to your crown. And slowly rotate right. So we're not going to mirror each other. Keep your eye focus at your right thumbnail. Exhale, slowly unwind. Slowly but surely, slowly but surely. And then release your hands. Awesome. Are we still good on this side, or are you getting tired on this side? It's still good? All right, lunge the knee, grab your blocks. You're gonna take them forward so that as you rest your hands on the blocks, the left leg will lift away from the ground. Now, push your heel toward the wall behind you. Drop the left hip a skosh more. That way you're feeling really solid in your right leg. Hold and breathe. And look down at that space between the hands. When you're upside down in handstand, you're actually looking between your hands. All right, slowly descend your left foot to the floor. Push off the blocks. Come back up. All right, hands to prayer. Really root your feet. Get your legs really solid. Inhale, bring your arms up overhead. Cinch in through your core, cinch in through your wrists. Flex, lift your wrist. Lean your head back. Exhale, hands together, humbly fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, slide down. Inhale, out and up. This time you can circle the arms wider and bring the arms straight up, doesn't matter. But notice again, we get ribby here. So notice what's happening in the vertebrae. Notice what's happening in your front body. Noticing if your feet are too light, then flex your hands and stretch your arms and lean your head back and knees up. Exhale, hands together and fold. In and halfway lift. Out. And sink back in. All right, let's find those blocks. Now we get to step the right foot back. Good, descend your back knee, shin foot, and we'll go from the half lunge to the half splits. So when you're ready, take your time, just shifting forward and back, using your blocks to keep it gentle. Take your time. So when you think about handstands, you have to have strong wrists, right? Strong arms, shoulders, strong core, but we also have to have the ability in our legs to be able to lift up. All right, let's hold the half split and maybe walk the blocks out more if that's available, or hinge over a little deeper if that's available. Affirming here, I choose to dwell within infinite possibilities. That's what the branches of the tree represent if they represent our future. We have free will. We get to make choices on a daily basis. those choices will lead us into the future. All right, let's come forward to the sole of the foot. Let's curl the back toes under, pop up that back knee. You're lunging the front knee. And then this is where we'll slowly tilt the hips back and lift the toes and the ball of the foot up in front. And then as we exhale, we settle back down, lunge the knee. Good, so this little rocking motion with the foot is something that we don't do too often in here. So if it feels a little unfamiliar, it is for gentle. All right, the next time you straighten out that leg, we're gonna go ahead and plant the foot. We'll lunge the knee. We'll hop and offset the back foot. And then we'll structure the legs and find our balance and stability. Channel the tree here. Square your hips. How are we doing? All right, arms in front. I know, I'm feeling a little off on this side, actually. Fingers curl in. Your right arm's gonna pull the bow. Take the thumb to the crown. And then we start to twist left. So it's a revolving twist. Find your edge here. Keep your drishti set. Affirming, I'm focused on sending my love and light out into the world. And then slowly start to unwind. Gazing at your thumb. Good, then release your arms, lunge the knee. Bring the blocks ahead of you. And then pick up your right foot. Stacking. What we really want to focus on with certain strengthening poses and focus on your arms right now. Are your shoulders truly stacked over your elbows? Are your shoulders and elbows truly stacked over your wrists? That's the precision we're looking for these fancier poses. We want the strength and density of our bones to support our weight just as much as our muscles. It gives us an advantage. One more deep breath. And then exhale, land your right foot beside your left. Good, we're gonna continue to come down to the floor with our palms and step back into our pony. So in your plank, just as we were focused on the arm alignment before with the blocks, now we get to focus on the alignment with the floor. Now, are your thighs rolling in and slurping up? Is your core slurping in towards your back? Are your hands truly pushing the floor away from you? Are you engaging your upper back, that space between the shoulder blades? Are your ribs cinching in? Good. And if you have all that tight, this is your alignment for handstand, okay? All right, exhale, descend your knees, untuck your toes, drop your hips, but lift your heart. And then as you exhale, curl your toes under, roll back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your heels high. Shift your shoulders towards your hands, drop your knees. Exhale, back to child's. All right, we're gonna do this flow a couple more times. Inhale, rock forward. Slide the hips through, lift the heart up dog. Exhale, curl your toes under, roll back, down dog. Inhale, pick up your heels, shift your shoulders towards your hands. Exhale, land your knees. Good, untuck your feet. Rock back, child's pose. Already, this is helping to strengthen our hands and shoulders. Inhale, come forward. Continue to back bend, up dog. Exhale, curl your toes, roll back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your heels up. Shift your shoulders towards your hands, drop the knees. Good, untuck the feet, but this time we're gonna give the hands a break. And we're gonna circle the arms around the body and let your palms open at your feet. Shoulders collapsing. Weight on the brow. Breathing into the backside of the lungs. Resting the wrist. Take a few more deep breaths. Inhale. You're slowly gonna come up. And I want us to move forward on the mat. And I want us to find a block or two to sit on. So obviously consider your ankles and your knees here. And if this just adds, it looks like it's gonna work for everybody, but if it absolutely doesn't work, you don't have to stay. Okay. Lean to your left side and bring your right foot out in front of you. Yes. Take your hands to prayer. Bring the elbow to rest on the knee. And rest your brow into your thumbs. Okay, I want you to channel the trees. Science is showing that there is a flow of consciousness that moves through trees. There is a flow of information that flows through trees. And they're finding that they share their wisdom with each other through the roots. Now, open your eyes and bring your hands down. So there's a pose, a fancy pose, called toppling tree. It's too fancy for gym pole. But it's where the hands interlace behind the back, and then you're tipping forward and doing a standing split at the same time. No hands. But I figured we could do the standing split and use the hands, okay? So you're just gonna do your best. This is gonna give us a little bounce forward by shifting your weight. You're staying on your right leg. Keep your hands on the floor. Let your head lower, but you're trying to lift your left leg skyward. Just do your best, okay? And if you need a block to go under your hands, you've got that second block in front of you that you're welcome to utilize. All right, when you're ready, softly bend your right knee, land your left shin and foot. Cautiously walk your hands back and sit back. Look at that, it worked out. That was a little fancy maneuver for us, wasn't it? All right, so we'll shift forward. We'll lower the right knee and shin. We'll come to sit on the block with the left foot now in front. And one side may be a little bit more doable than the other. So be patient with your body. All right, Denny's already there. Let's join him. Hands to prayer, the third eye. When thinking about trees, remember there's such a broad variety of trees. not just here in the States, but elsewhere around the world. Very similar to the human race. That's why they represent unique individuality. All right, let's look ahead. When you're ready, push off and lift the right leg. Bow down, standing splits. This is going to be our version of toppling tree today. And the position you're looking at right now against the wall will come in handy when we do the gentle handstand. All right, let's lower the right foot, right knee, right shin, and back to the block. Okay, I think we're ready to go for it. Almost. Let's do one more thing. Let's come to a tabletop position. And from our tabletop position with knees below hips, hands below shoulders, we have a nice long vertebrae, right? And I want you to roll your arms out. And then dial down toward the mount of your thumbs. That's the structure in your arms that you want to experience. All right, curl your toes, pop up, downward facing dog. All right, your left foot's going to come halfway towards your hands. And then you're just gonna shift, you're keeping both feet on the floor, but you're just rocking your shoulders over your palms again. Yep, shoulders forward, that's it, Kelly. Good. And now step back down dog. All right, that's all we're doing. All right, right foot steps halfway forward, but then shift your shoulders over your wrist. And keep your head up so you're looking between your index fingers. All right, step back, down dog. Walk your hands back towards your feet. And then slowly but surely come up. We are ready. So, I don't like creepy crawly things in the house. And I'm not Buddhist, so if I see a creepy crawly thing in the house and like one of those millipede things, I'm sorry, it's going down the toilet or I'm gonna squish it. I'm sorry if that breaks your heart. I don't like spiders, even though I know they're great for killing mosquitoes. I don't want them in the house. But we all know when those little critters come into the house and they see you or the light turns on, what do? You start to scurry, right? And that's the way I usually describe it with yoga kids, but I don't think it hurts to explain it to adults either. So we're going to be crawling up the wall with our feet. So I will show you the most gentle way to do it, and then I'll show you how you can challenge yourself a little bit if you want the challenge. Now, I'm gonna stand away from the wall. I don't know, what is that distance, about a foot or two? And just watch me first, because I'm gonna show you two ways of doing it. We're gonna bend the knees. We're gonna take the hands to the floor, okay? And then we drop the head, because we need to see the wall. And if the foot's too low, you're not gonna be able to get up, right? So create as much distance as you need to, but we need the foot to be, is that about as high as my head? Yeah. Okay. That usually is a good spot to be, and you push into the wall, you use the strength of your legs, and you crawl, crawl, crawl up, right? Now you could be here with your head hanging down, that's the more gentle way, but you could also shift your shoulders over your hands, cinch them through your ribs and belly, and look down towards your hands. It makes it a little bit more challenging. We're not gonna come away from the wall, okay? All right. You wanna go for it? Okay, so make sure you're far enough distance away from the wall that you can get your foot up. Donnie made it look way too easy. Susan, way too easy. Look at Morgan go for it.
Those cysts on my wrists that I never got to.
You went right up though. You were going my wrist. Yeah, if your wrists are hurting, you don't have to do it. Nice. Good job, guys. Beautiful. Kelly, ribs in. Oh, you are. You are. Good job. Yeah, and come right now. You don't have to stay in it, 'cause that's a lot. Shake out your hands. Are they going away?
I
No.
have apparently like a cluster of grapes wrapping around my thing. That's a,
Oh my goodness. Are they gonna stay there?
yeah, unless I get them surgically out. He said you don't have to do it. It's just-
Yeah, I don't think I would do the surgery. All right. You're at the wall. Let me show you something really quick though. We're gonna do this first. So when you roll back to your mat from the fetal position, you determine here, do I need to be flush or away from the wall? And then whatever you determine there, we're gonna start with the feet down. So it's kind of like hugging the knees in, but we're not using the arms, okay? And then we're gonna take the feet wide apart and then let the knees flop, okay? And then we'll take the legs up. All right? So I'll let you go ahead and get into the legs up the wall position, operate the grind. You're gonna straighten your legs and test, you know, your hamstrings. Are they good? Where you're at in proximity to the wall? And then you want your butt on the floor. Good, now let's go ahead and slide the feet down the wall. And if you can't slide your feet down the wall, it could be that you're too close to the wall, and it's okay to shimmy back a little bit. Right now, the feet are side by side. Right now, the knees are coming straight in towards your belly and chest, as if you were hugging the knees in, but no arms are needed. Just feel what it's catering to. It's more than what Stonehenge would give you, right? Because the knees are coming closer to the upper body. But this may be very relieving for your low back. All right, now let's step or heel toe the feet apart wider. So we're in that tree frog position. And then let your inner thighs soften. So your knees kind of collapse open. And notice what you're receiving here in your hips. Isn't wall yoga nice? I love these kind of poses. Very different from the trendy wall Pilates. Let's hold 3 more breaths. And then after that 3rd breath, you can come back to simple legs up the wall. Close your eyes. And again, I want you to picture your favorite tree or patch of trees. Your favorite forest. And with this pictured in your mind's eye, see this tree or these trees as a vessel of divine energy and interconnectedness. Notice how the trees help us to accept, embrace changes of the seasons and phases in our life. Just like the trees here in the South, we see them changing every season, from budding to blooming to shedding. And it's that whole birth, life, death, rebirth cycle that we see in nature. If you've ever done forest bathing, you may already know scientifically it reduces stress, it lowers blood pressure, and improves our overall health and well-being. But have you taken the time to do it? Have you ever even hugged a tree? Not that you have to be a tree hugger. Or have you ever sat to meditate underneath the shade of a tree? So in your imagination for Shavasana today, I want you to imagine that you're forest bathing. That you're looking up towards a canopy of trees above, hearing the sound of the wind rustling the leaves. And get quiet enough to see if you can channel the tree and maybe provoke any insights or wisdom.
Let's slide down the wall. And roll over to your right side. And come up slowly, surely. And take a comfortable seat, whether it's on your bolster or back support with the wall. Let's join the handstand. The light in me honors and bows to the beautiful light in each of you. Hopefully we've been able to polish the mirror of our own heart. Hopefully we've been able to tap into our own inner light. And now we get to go live our yoga and shine our light. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste. Today. Okay, fun doing something a little different today. Your wrists might be a little tender. You know, there's counter stretches you can do. Check out your pain. Hopefully it won't last very long. I'm feeling mine, but I did 2 classes in a row, so. Have a great trip.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, I won't be here next week because I'll be leading a retreat. But I'll be back the following week. Chris